Shalom again from the Tabernacle of David Prophetic Dance Center in Jerusalem. I want to talk about an issue today about a covering. A friend of mine recently asked me about a covering. Who's your covering? Do you have a covering? So interesting. A few years ago at my previous congregation, it was in the evening, and this man who I'd never seen before looked like he was coming up to approach me. And a couple of the elders of the congregation looked at me and they said, he's good. They gave me the thumbs up about him, like whatever he says to you, because they've known him for a very long time. He was a very prophetic individual. And I was getting ready to go on a dance tour. And he came up to me and he said, "You don't need any other covering but God." And it was interesting that I got that word before I was leaving on this dance ministry tour / encouragement tour. And a friend of mine said to me the other day, because someone in her life was speaking to her about the importance of a covering, and asked me if I had a covering. And I said, well, I have friends that I'm accountable to, and I have pastor friends and pastor and wife friends and so on and so forth, people in my life, and I live out loud. I believe in sharing who I am. I'm not an introvert. I process things out loud. And I believe in being accountable, and I've many times had mentors when that opportunity was there, but I believe in living life with other people. I believe in that, and I'm very active in that in my life. I want people to know who I am. I want to be there for others. I believe friendships and love is a commitment. It surely is, and we can't be committed to every single person on the face of the earth, but who God brings us into committed relationships with. But here's the issue that I want to bring out. Well, what if your covering is a pastor, let's say for years, and then all of a sudden he runs away with his secretary, and these are the people that are your covering? Well, you would be devastated. And I wonder, is this something like equivalent to a priest? In the Catholic Church, right, the father stands in place, the priest stands in place of the one in position to forgive sins. I mean, we know from the word, no one can forgive sins but God himself. But what if that priest falls, which we know that people are fallen, and it could happen, whoever you are. You could fall into sin, absolutely. Don't be ignorant, anybody, because we have this body of flesh. And David Jeremiah talks about the holy warfare. And I always say, this body is not being transformed into anything here on this earth. So I bow my flesh to my spirit, man, woman, in here. And I choose God every moment of every day. That's the choice that I choose, to bring everything under the submission of the Spirit of the living God within me. So these are important things because, and I pose that question to you, if you're making man or woman your covering and they fall hard, first of all, you'd be devastated. And it's not just you that would be affected, because the Bible says we're all parts of the same body. Everybody's affected when somebody falls like that. So is that equivalent to making a priest you're covering, lifting up a priest like he's one who can forgive sins? I mean, I know that the belief is, I guess, he's acting in the place of God, but what if he falls? God doesn't fall. That's the difference. God is without sin. He's perfect in every way. So I'm just bringing this up just to provoke, to thought, and I think it's much more important to be living our lives with other trusted, godly people. Trustworthy, that's key, and to walk and dance with them in this journey, to live out loud with our friends and be accountable to one another. I think in the long run, in the short and the long run, I think this is what's very, very important. And God is our covering, and he's the only perfect one. Food for thought. God bless you from Jerusalem.